Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. I'm Pinky Webb. Today on the program, some universities in Metro Manila declare an academic break following the onslaught of Typhoon Ulysses. Marikina City suspends all classes for a month as netizens call for relief in distance learning to recover from the typhoon's impact. And with the widespread devastation brought by Ulysses, the National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council wants to place Luzon under a state of calamity. Commission on Higher Education Chairperson Prospero de Vera III and NDRRMC spokesperson Mark Timbal join us live. With millions still struggling to recover in the aftermath of several typhoons, calls for an academic freeze or break are resurfacing online. Professors from the University of the Philippines urge the administration to immediately end the semester. They say the distance learning setup and recent calamities have placed, quote, unjust workload and mental burden on students and teachers. Several schools and areas have already suspended classes following the series of typhoons that battered the country. Let's go straight to the source of the story. First off, we have Commission on Higher Education, or CHED Chairperson Prospero de Vera III. Chairperson, welcome to the source, and it's good to have you again.
Hi, good morning, Pinky, and good morning to all your televiewers.
Chairman, let's start with this. So Marikina already suspended classes in all levels beginning November 16 to December 16. I just first wanted to find out from you, does this need the approval of the CHED or the DepEd?
No. During disasters, the authorities that decide on school matters and cancellation of classes, etc., are two. The first one is the local governments in the area, and the second one are the school authorities. That is because they are in the best position to determine what is happening on the ground. Because disasters, typhoons, etc., are location-specific. So the Commission on Higher Education, or the national government, would not be able to know exactly what is happening on the ground, and local governments know better, and school authorities know better. On the ground, LGUs and the school authorities are in constant communication. So it is possible, for example, that there are times where school authorities still have not suspended classes, but the local governments already suspend classes because the local governments take into consideration the whole area. For example, it is possible there are no floods within a school, but the surrounding areas are already flooded, so transportation is paralyzed, people cannot go to school. So local governments can suspend classes.
And there is no time element to this. They can suspend for a week, can they suspend for a month, or even the whole SEM, the remaining of the semester?
Well, it depends on the magnitude of the disaster or what is happening on the ground. Usually, it's on a day-to-day basis. I suppose in Marikina, in the assessment of local authorities, that the impact of the disaster is so grave that they will need more time. But all these periods are always subject to discussion and evaluation by school authorities and local government. So they can extend the number of days, or they can reduce it depending on how fast efforts are made to normalize the situation. Now, for schools, if the time suspension or the suspension of classes is long, they'll have to go to their respective board of regents to adjust their academic calendar. Usually that is what happens. Either you have extra classes or you adjust the academic calendar so that the learning outcomes that students are supposed to get from their studies are not compromised. Pwede namang pahabain ang academic calendar. Pwedeng i-adjust yan.
And that will be up to the school administration.
Yes, that is a school-to-school. That's a
Uh-huh.
school-to-school decision. But there is a problem if you unilaterally end classes in a school because the students will not be able to complete the required course, and that will compromise their studies. That will also have problems in terms of certifying the needed competencies in their studies. Magkakaproblema yan, yung unilateral suspension, for example, for the whole semester. That is a decision that should not be made by schools unilaterally.
Okay, so here's an example, Chairman. With Marikina suspending classes until December 16, I'm assuming, Chairman, pagdating po niya ng December 16, sakaling umabot nga po ng December 16 because that's the original plan, that's already the Christmas break. Hindi ho ba?
Yes.
So
Yes.
there's a likelihood that they actually might begin classes sometime in January.
Yes.
Would that be a problem?
The universities that are affected should not wait for December 16 to decide on the matter. They can go discuss the issue with their respective Board of Regents already. And the Board of Regents is the one that determines the academic calendar. So they should go to their Board of Regents already and discuss the problem and extend the semester if necessary until January. They have to do it immediately. They don't have to wait for it and then tell everyone in December. Remember, Pinky, because of COVID, the start of classes is different across different areas in the country. There are state universities that decided to open in October, and they're ending their semester in January. So hindi naman kailangan December mag-end yung semester. You can move it to January and adjust the academic calendar for the second semester.
I think we lost the chairman on the line. Did we? Chairman, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes. Can you hear me?
Apologies, sir. I missed the last part of what you were saying. You were saying that there were different school openings for different schools, and in fact, you were saying some actually opened in October.
Yeah, because of the COVID-19 pandemic and the different, the situation on the ground, the health situation is different across the country. Some universities decided to open very late, like in October, and they are ending their semester in January. So there is no reason why those that are affected now by the aftermath of Ulysses can adjust their academic calendar and also move it to January. That is the most practical solution to the problem of affected by the typhoon.
So it's almost as if you support that. So I just want to enumerate some of the schools, Chairman. Ateneo de Manila, academic break for 1 week from November 16 to 21. UST also 1 week. PUP 2 weeks. Lyceum Manila 1 week. Benilde 1 week. And then DLSU to ease academic workload. So plain and simple, Chairman, you do not see a problem with this.
Well, the decision on the academic calendar is a decision by individual universities in the exercise of academic freedom. But they have to go to their respective Board of Regents. They have to discuss with the students on what is the impact of reducing the semester. Because if you reduce it, the potential workload on the students, on the faculty will be heavy. And therefore, they have to discuss measures on how to mitigate the possible impact. I don't see a problem with a lot of the universities that are reducing it, but that are having a 1 week break, for example. But I see a problem in the case of UP, because UP already reduced its academic calendar. From 16 weeks, they reduced it to 14 weeks. And now it's going to be reduced further to 13 weeks. Compressing the semester in 13 weeks is a very difficult process. I am concerned with the impact of this on the students and the faculty. But the other universities, they are keeping their 18-week semester. So 1 week of no classes is not a very big problem. They can adjust it. They can
It's
adjust it
not
accordingly.
disruptive. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Okay, we will be taking a very short break. Chairperson Prospero de Vera will still be with us. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Chairperson Prospero de Vera III. So, Chairman, you were talking about UP. Let's go back to that. You are saying that you're a little concerned about this shortened semester of UP. Please go on, sir. So sabi nyo, what can be done kung ganito na po ang mangyayari?
Well, UP decided to reduce it from 16 weeks to 14 weeks. And now, because they're having a break, it's going to be reduced to 13 weeks. When this was discussed in the Board of Regents of UP, I voted against the proposal to reduce the semester because I am concerned of the impact of this on students and faculty. And I said, until I see consultations being done with the faculty and the students, I cannot support the reduction of the number of weeks in a semester because kawawa ang mga bata at saka faculty dyan. You have the same learning outcomes to be achieved, but you're compressing it on a shorter period. The load will be heavier on the students and the faculty. My position is that UP should not end the semester in December. They should end it in January. But I was outvoted in the board.
To add to that, yes,
Oh,
but to add to
what?
that, Chairman, there
Yeah.
are professors, idagdag ko lang po about this
Okay.
academic break because from
Yeah.
what I read, there are professors from UP who are asking the school administration to actually immediately end the semester.
Well, they'll have to go to the Board of Regents to achieve that because the faculty members and the school authorities do not have authority to suspend the whole semester. That power resides in the Board of
Yes.
Regents. Yeah, so they'll have to go to the board. And it
Well,
would be an interesting discussion if that
clearly.
goes to the board.
Yun na nga po because it will go to the board as you have been explaining a while ago. But what I want to find out from you is this something that you would support or not?
To end the school year, no, because you end
The semester.
you end the semester if you cannot do anything anymore to continue the learning of students. But that is not true because number one, you could extend the semester, so there is no reason to unilaterally suspend the whole learning process. And number two, because there are many ways to continue learning. If there are problems with online connections, you can do asynchronous learning. You could do it by modules. You know, this idea that you just stop everything is not based on empirical evidence because there are schools who have gone online or doing flexible learning that have already completed the semester and continue the learning process. And the students there are doing well. So if other universities can do it, it's going to be ironic that the premier university of the country will surrender and suddenly say, we cannot continue learning. A lot of the schools are able to do it successfully this semester.
But Chairman, this call became stronger. The call for an academic break is now stronger because, of course, of the successive typhoons that have hit the country.
Well, then the answer is you extend the semester to January. You can take a short academic break for things to normalize, and then you continue the learning process. You can move it to January. You can end the semester in January, adjust the second semester in February. It is possible that you can give up the summer break or the break between school years, or you reduce it so that you have more time for the regular semester.
So let's talk about the issue right now. So nagkaroon po ng mga bagyo, may problema sa distance learning, may baha pa pong mga mga kalsada. People are trying to fix their homes. There's mental burden. Some may have lost some family members. Do you feel that there should be some sort of a possible academic break even until next year, Chairman?
No, we leave
Even
that to
just
the school
on
authorities.
in Luzon, in Luzon.
No, we leave that to the school authorities because different schools and different students and families are affected differently. And therefore, the school authorities are in the best position to decide this in consultation with their students and their faculty. A unilateral suspension, is not a good policy because we cannot make unilateral decisions that are not based on what is actually happening on the ground. So that is the school authorities are in the best situation to decide on this, and some of them have decided already. For example, some schools have suspended synchronous classes but continued asynchronous assignments. Some schools have suspended both synchronous and asynchronous. Some have suspended it for 1 week, for 2 weeks, meaning these schools took into consideration the situation on the ground, the situation of their students and faculty, and decided accordingly. Ang gusto ko lang sabihin sa schools na ito, you discuss this with your boards and open the possibility of extending the semester until January. Because without that, the students and the faculty will be severely affected because you're going to squeeze the same amount of learning in a shorter period of time, and that's not a good learning process.
What is the CHED's position on two things? Number one, a nationwide academic break, and second, Chairman, a Luzon-wide academic break?
No to both. No to both, especially for the nationwide academic break because the impact of the typhoon and the disasters are different across different parts of the country. And number two, no also to the Luzon-wide because the universities are already deciding on it. The CHED discussions will be determined by how the universities are assessing the situation on the ground. Because we are in constant communication, and I will meet with the university presidents also this week to see what is the situation on the ground. Bahala silang mag-assess, and then from there we go on and discuss this matter based on the assessment of the universities.
And I wanted to find out, I know that you explained the process to me, that they have the responsibility, the LGUs and even the school administration, but at any point, nakakapasok po ba ang CHED at any point and tell, for example, the school administration that their decision is wrong?
Yes, because for the 112 state universities and colleges, the chairman of their board of regents is the CHED chair. So the decision-making body in a state university, which is the board of regents, is chaired by the Commission on Higher Education. So the commission has a say in these matters at the university level. And number two, because I am in constant discussion and meetings with all the organized associations of universities, Cocopeya, PASOK, all the state universities and colleges, and we discuss this extensively.
But you're just one vote.
No, not really. When this is discussed in the board, when this is discussed in the board in a collegial manner, all the interests and all the aspects are discussed because the House and the Senate also sit in the Board of Regents of the university, so they bring in the perspective of national and local policymakers. The sectoral regions are there. So we discuss this extensively, and we find the consensus most of the time. The members of the boards of regions are very responsible individuals who take into consideration all interests. So this is going to be discussed in the following days and weeks, I suppose. And at this point, kasi Pinky, what I am doing is asking the universities to report on the assessment of damage in their areas. So when we discuss this, we will know better what is the actual condition on the ground, and the board of regents will decide appropriately on what is the best way to move forward.
Chairperson Prospero de Vera, sir, good to speak to you again. Sir, did you want to add something? Please go ahead.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to say that this is still a matter that is being discussed, and we don't know yet the actual disaster assessment on the ground. And for schools that are severely affected, the commission will help these schools. And if the assistance is in terms of getting an academic break, then the commission will decide at the appropriate time on what is the appropriate academic break for individual universities. But as I said, the commission will not go on a unilateral decision without discussing with the universities and without knowing what is the actual condition on the ground.
Chairperson Prospero de Vera, sir, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you, Pinky.
And coming up, the NDRRMC wants to declare a state of calamity in Luzon. We check the situation in the town of Alcala in Cagayan after the break. Please stay tuned.